I really wanted to start this presentation by thanking you guys, and then also by thanking Shannon, Joey, and Gina. Because the story that I'm telling in this book, a lot of it begins with spanking. Mm-hmm. And there is a recurring theme in the book about the ripple effect that can occur when somebody just takes a chance on you or shares an idea with you, and they're like almost pressure testing it to see how the other person is going to react. And that ripple effect has a big impact in other people's lives. So I'm going to tell you a very quick story to kick it off. Gina and I were working out at CrossFit, and I had never ever taught fitness before. And she very casually says to me, "Oh, I think I'm gonna start this, this new place is opening up Spango." She tells me all about it. I'm like, interesting. And I remember just turning to her and being like, "I think I'm interested in that." She's like, "I'll teach you everything you need to know. Trust me." And I was like, "But I've never taught a spin class. Like, I don't even know if I can figure that out." "It's okay. I got you." "Okay, but what about yoga? Like, I've never taught a yoga class before." "It's okay. I got you." And then Joey and Shannon took a huge risk on me. I had never taught any fitness class before, and then all of a sudden I'm teaching 3 different types of fitness at once. And so I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Thank you.
Huge gift. And somebody yesterday asked me, like, how would you describe Spango in 3 words? And the first word that came to mind was family. First word, instantly. It's a very, very special place here. So,
thank you.
Thank you. So anyways, thank you guys for being here. This book is, it's really, well, I'll tell the story of how I wrote the book. In January, I followed a moment of inspiration, and we have those sometimes, right? A moment of inspiration, a good idea comes along, and then the next part gets a little hard sometimes, right? The acting on it, the what to do next, the building a support team around you, kind of like all the steps that need to get there. And I really prioritized writing this book, partially because I wanted to tell the story of not the race that I'm doing in November, but the moment before the race, kind of like the roller coaster ride that we all go through of, can I do this? Can't I do this? Like, do I believe in myself? Like, what do I need to get there? Like, all that journey, that roller coaster ride of overcoming self-doubt and belief and really taking a leap of faith and betting on yourself. And I think, at least for me, the place in midlife is really where all those things sort of started to surface. When I had space and time, the kids were older, more independent, there was just like, I guess, in a very short way, the feeling of feeling stuck, but also craving growth, I think is a very human feeling that comes up in midlife. And what do we do about that, right? There's a lot of different directions it can go. But really this story is about taking the next step forward and about pursuing your potential and really reigniting the inner spark that's within all of us, but sometimes a little bit hard to find, right? There's a lot of noise in our environment and where we live. And so specifically, I wanted to put together a framework that would make it a little bit easier to reconnect your inner spark through pursuing a movement challenge. And I picked movement specifically because you guys are all doing the you versus you challenge, or most of you, some of you guys in here.
We're all in Spango.
The you versus you challenge is a great way to think about this framework. It's once you sign up for something, once you commit to a goal, this process of personal development and growth, it kicks off the moment you just make that decision. And it's incredible how many doors open up and connections happen once you make that decision. And so the framework in the book is, I just wanted to share 3 quick takeaways, but there's more obviously in the book. And the first one is, I pulled it right at the first one, setting a goal that's balanced both extrinsically and intrinsically. So when we think of goals, a lot of times, they can be the extrinsic ones, like let's lose 5 pounds before we, go on our trip to Cabo with friends. That's an extrinsic goal. It's probably going to come back as soon as you get back from Mexico, right? Maybe it's not balanced by the right reasons, but it is a goal. And then the intrinsic ones is really the ones that your heart follows, right? You know, the goals that you know are, you know, for whatever reason you're connected to that goal, and it's for your own internal reasons. It doesn't really matter what's happening on the outside. And so having a balance of both really helps with the sustainability of the goal going forward, knowing that it's coming from the right place and for the right reasons. So that's the first takeaway. The second one is to bulletproof your goal with floors and ceilings. So floors and ceilings have been really, really helpful for me in my life in setting big goals, like ceiling goals. Obviously the Great World Race is my ceiling goal. But if I balance it out with floor goals, smaller goals that are attainable every day, even on my worst day. The last 2 weeks, you know, my daughter was, you know, fighting an ear infection, missing school, driving her to finals. You know, it's tough to get the workouts in when I'm like in and out of appointments for her and all the things. So what's my floor goal? The floor goal might be just to go for a couple mile run, half-hour commitment in the morning. And so whatever your ceiling goal is, making sure that you balance it out with the floors. That way you don't lose the momentum on a tough day when you're traveling, when your kids get sick, when work gets crazy. You can still make progress, even though it feels slower, you're still moving in that forward direction. So that's takeaway number 2. And then the third one, you are on the right track if your goal equally makes you feel excited and terrified. Because it is that balance, right? That's what drives us to push ourselves just outside of our comfort zone and creates that personal development and growth. That like sweet spot is something that you know, like you're not even quite sure if it's attainable, but like you gotta do the work to get there. And so if you just think about it in that way, something that excites you and terrifies you at the same time. And what I have already like had to work through a lot in the goal that I set for myself, the Great World Race, is imposter syndrome. I don't know if you guys have heard that term before. It's a new term for me, probably within the last year or something. Oh man, does it like kick you, you know, in your behind at like 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, middle of the night. It's like, what am I doing this for? Why am I doing this? Like, it's that feeling of like, I'm a fraud and everyone's gonna find out, but it's actually not that at all. It's you are truly on the edge of becoming the next best version of yourself. And so staying with it and kind of noticing and meeting it where it is, like you're on the right track. So those are my 3 takeaways from the book. And if you guys are up for it, I'd love to read you just a little bit of the book. My favorite last part of the chapter, which is chapter 11. I don't know if there's a reason why you shouldn't read the end of the book, but it's still my favorite, so I'm gonna do it. So before I get to this, obviously this is like, there's a lot of running in here, and not everyone is a runner, so you don't have to be a runner to pick it up. But that is sort of what I've used as my compass to, you know, pursuing and setting goals in my life. So there is a running theme in it, I'll just warn you. Chapter 11, own your race. Do not go where the path may lead, go instead where there is no path, and leave a trail. Ralph Waldo Emerson. It's 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning. The sky is still dark and the world feels quiet, except in downtown Oakland, where the marathon start line is alive with energy. There's a combination of nervous anticipation and excitement as thousands of runners gather, each with their own personal goal. Some have trained diligently through the cold winter months, driven by the pursuit of a personal record. Others are here to conquer the full 26.2 miles for the very first time, a challenge that represents more than just distance, but also dedication, hard work, and growth. Despite our diverse backgrounds and reasons for being here, we all share a common purpose that unites us. Each of us understands in our own way what it took to arrive at this moment, the early mornings, sore muscles, moments of doubt, and quiet perseverance. As we stand together in the early morning chill, we are collectively aware that the hours ahead will test us. Yet we've shown up, ready to rise to the challenge. For me, this marathon is a chance to shake off the dust of a failed marathon attempt nearly 2 decades ago. My intention is to use the Oakland Marathon as a training milestone for the Great World Race. I plan to run it slowly, finish strong, and build the confidence I'll need to complete 7 consecutive marathons this coming November. I have no idea what the next 26.2 miles will hold, but I already know this journey has changed me in ways I never could have imagined. And just before the starting gun goes off and I put to the test, I pause for a moment of gratitude for the process, the growth, and the path that brought me here. Because in many ways, I already feel like I've won. And I want to cry every time I read that one. That marathon did test me in many ways. It was awesome. So this is the book, The Inner Race. We have it here. It's also available on Amazon. And if you do get the book and you read it, in the very beginning, I talk about how I first became a runner, and it is due to my 7th grade teacher, my PE teacher, Miss Dalton, who inspired me to run and run fast for the first time. And sadly, she passed away from cancer 15 years ago this July. And so we're partnering with Party and Kindness to donate cancer kits with all the book purchases. It's just a small way of giving back and keeping her alive, because she meant a lot to me as a child. So that's the book, The Inner Race, and the Great Wall Race is the other piece of it. That comes in November, 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 continents.
The consecutive days?
Consecutive days, all in a row.
How do they do
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really run, fly, run, fly, run, fly. So Antarctica is number 1. And then
You're all together, like it's all
60 US
coordinated, right?
Yeah. We all travel. We don't have to worry about the logistics. Somebody else takes care of it. Yeah.
How many people are doing it?
60.
60.
Yeah. Yeah.
From all over the world, I
Yeah.
imagine? That's cool. Have
It's
you
gonna be
met them all
awesome. Does anyone know Bex Gentry from Peloton?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she did it last year. She's probably one of the most well-known people that did it last year. So it'll be it's more of a race of recovery than it is like a running race. It's obviously like your body breaks down more and more every day. And I don't know how well people sleep on planes, but most people don't sleep very well.
Yeah. So
So
what's the goal? Like slow and steady, or like?
Really, for me, it's just to finish every marathon.
Yeah.
And to have an adventure.
How many marathons have you done so far?
I've only done 2. I've done the failed marathon in my 20s, and then the Oakland Marathon, which I just did.
You didn't finish the one in your 20s?
I did finish it. I just didn't finish it to my expectations.
Oh, okay, because I just
Yeah.
failed.
No, I did finish it. I just was hoping to qualify for Boston, and I had all these like goals, and I like.
Oh, I know,
It didn't go well.
Boston's a tough, yeah.
But she has been running her age on her birthday.
Yes, I do. I run way more than 20. So I run my age every year.
You
so
do?
up to like 42, I ran last year.
Wow.
So the running for a long time is not new to me, but the running day over day over day is the most challenging piece. Is just in recovery. So.
Did they just wait for the last person to finish? They shuttle you off back to the plane and like
It's an
meals?
It's an 8-hour. We only land for 8 hours. So the plane lands, and then everyone is back on. If you finish in 2 hours, you have 6 hours to recover. If you finish in 7 hours, you have 1 hour to recover.
What's your goal in terms? I mean, your body's going to break down over subsequent marathons, but what's your goal at the time?
Like my time goal.
Mm-hmm.
So the Oakland Marathon, I ran fast. I ran in 3:31.
Oh, that's good.
Which is under 8-minute miles. I would never do that for a race like this.
No, it's too.
I'm thinking like between 4 and 4.5 hours. Antarctica is like running in wet sand. I've been told.
Someone asked me, how is it
Yeah.
through snow and how like?
So they do everything in like routes. So it's not like a point to point marathon, because there's only 60 of us. They have to keep track of us all. And set up like 1 or 2 aid stations, because they have to pay people to like staff these marathons for us. And so they'll do like a 6-mile loop or 10-mile loop, whatever they do.
And just keep repeating it.
They keep repeating it. But for Antarctica specifically, they will pave it, compact the route for us, check for crevasses.
Wow.
Because
yeah. Do you have different shoes for the different terrains?
So some people brought crampons. You're supposed to be able to run in running shoes because they pave it. I think it gets slushy the longer it takes you to run it. So the faster runners will have a better surface area than the slower runners. It depends a lot on the weather. So people, I think, just bring options.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really funny things, like you can't carry your own food.
Can't have water.
Can't have water. Everything freezes. And there's like the biggest worry is that the shirt you have on underneath gets sweaty because that's how you can get hypothermia. So you just like bring multiple shirts, go into the warming tent, change, swap out your gear that's getting wet. And then obviously if you have to go to the bathroom, you have to go into the warming tent, you gotta wait. There's not like porta potties, lined up for us.
But that's first.
That's
you get
first.
that over with first.
So that one, I'm like, I don't care if it takes me 5 hours, whatever. Like that's the first one. And there's so many factors you can't count on. It could be 60 degrees in either direction, and if it's windy, it's apparently like crazy. And then the other thing I was told is there's nothing to look at on your horizon. So it is like just white snow with like no mountains, no trees, really nothing. So that like can wear on you like mentally hour after hour.
Do you listen to music?
I don't know if you're allowed to. I don't know any of those things yet.
Do you have to qualify for this?
No.
You just have to be
It's
crazy.
you self-qualify. Yes. It's like Everest, right? Nobody says how fast can you. You just have to like self-qualify. Like yes, I can do this. And they take your word for it and your money. And your money.
And you're doing a documentary as well,
Oh, you
right?
So
Or you're partaking in one?
it was, yes, so there was a filming project that was being done, and that, we'll see where that goes. I was just told what to do, and off it went to somebody else to be edited, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, so my message is really to bet on yourself and take the leap of faith, and in a scary midlife, moment where, people have to make a decision where to go. Like it can feel like a very lonely journey, but there's so much more in all of us. And you guys are so lucky to be part of this family at Spanga, right? Just bounce that idea of inspiration off somebody in here. Figure it out, go for it, take the next step. That is my message. Is really it's inspiration and empowering other people to like find their own mission. Mine's very specific and totally nuts, but everybody has their own thing. So yeah, I would love if you guys follow me on Instagram, and I'll be back in here at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And share the book. Share it with anybody that you think would benefit from that message. They don't have to be a runner. They don't have to be even a female. So yeah.
Are you still working yourself?
I'm still working.
You're still doing that?
So I'm up at 4:30. I try to get my miles in before work.
Yeah, because I was just wondering if that was still on your plate.
Yeah, and then
That's a lot.
if I sit down around 3 or 4, my eyes just close.
Where do you run? Like
Iron Horse Trail, it's getting a little boring. Yeah, so many miles. I love to run up in the hills in Las Trampas, so I'll work that in. And anyone who wants to run with me, let me down.
You might be faster than someone.
I
mean, not everyone.
No, everybody's worried that I'm so fast. It's not like a fast run. There are slow runs where like, it's just about the miles, like training my body to like take the impact, and recover quickly.
Yeah, what is your recovery? Like what recovery tools or what do you?
Yes, I'm doing actually a ton of research on this. Ryan is hugely helping me out with like biohacking stuff, like crazy devices and tools and supplements and all kinds of things. The Hyperice boots are really important for the plane, the compression boots, mostly because of the travel. Like you just can't have the swelling happen. There's doctors and physical therapists that will be traveling with us if something serious comes up. And then just like there's so much like mental training I've been doing, like mental resiliency training. Writing a book for sure fits into that category. Oh my gosh, it's like one of the hardest things I've ever done.
Did you have somebody help you write the book?
I had a book coach, and then I put it through a developmental editor twice, a proofreader, and then I hired somebody to do the internal formatting and the external cover of the book. So although it's self-published, it was a team of us to like get it to print.
Yeah.
Which is great because you need somebody to like, bounce ideas like, does this make sense to anyone besides me? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That it was, I'm not a writer, you know, I just always want, this is a goal of mine since, gosh, for a while.
Mhm.
Ryan wrote a book last
You
year.
guys are both writers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I told a joke a couple weeks ago at my book launch. Brian had his book launch on Sunday, and then I had mine on Wednesday. And I was like, man, it's tough to be a Lazarus kid right now. The battle of the book launches in our house. It's just, I'm like, I gave them a shout out. They've had to, you know, pick up a little extra housework around the house. They've got 2 dreamers as parents, so
It's amazing. That's
Inspirational.
thank you.
You need to come back after.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to hear about those 7. Like,
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Something
For
for
sure.
January.
Yeah, I
Yes.
want to know.
January 1.
Yeah.
We'll do it right before the Century Challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, if you
Yeah.
guys can make 100 miles, let's inspire ourselves with what happened.
Yes. So my final ask is, if you guys, we are looking for sponsors for the race too. If you like have any small businesses or companies or anyone that would believe or benefit in the mission and is aligned with that, let me know. Reach out through Instagram or my website's Natalia, natalialazarus.com. Trying to get, you know, some companies on board to help support as well.
Mhm.
Is Ryan good to go with you or no?
So my whole family will come to Cape Town,
Okay.
and we booked a safari. So go to Kruger Park for a couple of days and, you know, do the Big 5, acclimate a little bit, not be on a plane for a few days, and then so I'll take off to Antarctica and then come back. Marathon 2 is in Cape Town, so they'll see Cape Town and then they can run with me if they want to. So like they could take turns doing a loop or a lap or whatever.
Mhm.
Then they'll go to Miami and I will leave for Australia. So they'll see me at the finish line, and this is like the best part. My mom is turning 70, my sister's turning 40 that same weekend, and so they're all flying out to Miami for the finish. Like my whole family of 20 and his parents. It's gonna be like a big, awesome welcoming / party.
That's so cool.
I'll be like sitting in the corner not moving, but everyone else will be having a blast.
They'll be partying.
Yeah, well, thank you guys so much.
Thank
for
you,
having me.
Natalia.